Manita chula making jefa moves. Welcome, bienvenidos a Hard Mind Money Podcast, where we talk raw and real of what all humans look for in life, which is love, happiness, and success. I am Perla Casasnovas, daughter of Mexican immigrants, firstborn and educated American, born into a $10 crib. I saw my parents build several successful businesses, and their biggest asset was me, working with them since I was 7 years old. And little did they know, it was my life's internship. All I needed to know, and leaped into business at the age of 21, starting from my bedroom with my little sister's help and their trust. No fear, hard work, and many people's support made me a multimillionaire by the age of 24. I've been on this journey 16 years with 22 startups under my belt and revenues over 100 million. I can say that I am made of chingos of failures and wins. Mana, my life has not been easy, and I have had no choice but to become an expert at transforming adversity into triumph. No hay rosas sin espinas. And if you know me, you know I love humans. I have always learned so much from other people's stories, and that's why in this season, I have invited special guests, and I have a deep dive into their failures and wins. It's not what you have now, but what got you there. What was that pain point that shifted it all from you? And we learn from that. I will show you how they turned pain into power, building paths of resilience and prosperity. Esto está pica que se extiende. And I unveil secrets that were catalysts to who and how they became super successful. Keeping humble and knowing how to wear the crown is key. For me, it's loyalty over royalty, lealtad sobre dinero. Y aquí conmigo es la mera neta del planeta para que veas que todos somos iguales y somos puro amor. Stay tuned into this world because it's all about conquering your heart, mind, and money. Así que pícale play. Manas, welcome. ¿Cómo están, chiquillas? So excited to be the executor of today's podcast. So I'm taking Giselle's seat. Thank you so much for listening in. This is Perla Casasnovas, founder of Latina Empire and Heart, Mind, Money. And today, well, let me tell you that this is a huge, big dream of mine. I've always wanted to be in a seat interviewing people because I think I've been interviewing people since I was as young as 4 or 5 years old, always being in the mix of my tías, my tíos, my cousins, the people in my parents' companies. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Y cómo están? ¿Y qué les pasó? ¿Y si se peleó con el esposo? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Y lo corrió o no lo corrió? The entire cheese. I call it for the chisme. And so, because that's how I've learned, and that's what's made me so powerful with my human connections, because I just have so many takeaways of people that have poured into me their deepest secrets. And so I am so excited to introduce a super amiga from South Texas. She's Colombian. She's lived in several parts of the United States, and I'm so excited to introduce a super Latina, super mom, super survivor, superhero woman, coach, and now author of astrology cards. You have to look for them. She'll tell us more about that. Her name is Chams. Take it away, amiga. Bienvenida.
Tengo miedo.
No se asuste. So,
thank you, Perla, for this opportunity. I'm so excited.
No, well, I'm so excited to have you here and just to extract all of the nuggets and all of the secrets that have made you who you are, because I've always thought, it's not what you see now, it's what that person has endured to be where they're sitting right now. Powerful. Entonces, es la historia detrás del éxito, porque muchos de nosotros nos perdemos en lo que vemos. Vemos a una persona que tiene un casón, una mansión, un negocio, o lo que aparenta ser un matrimonio perfecto, o unas fotos bien bonitas en el Instagram, en el Facebook, y como que te clavas en eso. Pero tú no sabes lo que esa persona ha vivido y lo que ha sufrido. So I am always so entertained of congratulations, what I see now. Congratulations that you're an author of your Oracle deck cards. You did an incredible tour around Miami, South Florida. But what took you there?
Woo!
That's what I want to know. That's what makes the story worth it.
Yes.
So tell me, porque cafecito cheers, cheers. Cafecito. Oh my God, today is going to be a day full of caffeine.
I hope it's Colombian coffee.
It is.
So that's a powerful question, because yes, obviously, what you see sometimes is ilusión óptica.
Yes.
There's trauma, there's wounds, there's a whole story of experiences behind each person, each individual. In my case, what took me to where I am right now as a life coach and manifestation coach and author was two awakenings, let's call it.
Okay, let's start with the first one. I want to
one.
know how old you were, where you lived at the time,
Yes.
and what happened.
So I was graduating from college and I moved to Miami for work.
Okay.
But in the process of graduating and relocating, my dad passed from leukemia.
Wow. Did you guys know that he had leukemia?
He had a diagnosed in Colombia. He went to Houston to the MD Anderson for a second diagnosis. Then he catched a gripita,
a cold,
and then which caught a pneumonia afterwards. So they couldn't treat the leukemia because of the pneumonia, and it was
and everything got super complicated.
Everything got super complicated.
And how did you feel at that time? Were you super close to your dad?
I was super close to my dad, but I was also disappointed because I had realized or discovered that he was cheating on my mom.
Aha moments.
Aha moments.
These are the aha moments that take you. So then let's go in there, Carito.
Ay, Dios mío.
So let's go in there. So you had just found out that he was cheating on your mom.
And that he was sick to death.
And that he was sick to death. So did you take that as, I'm going to forgive you, or more like, chingate, por malo?
First, before the diagnosis, I was like, chingate. But then he got very sick. So I was like, I want to forgive you.
Okay.
And it was a very tough process because I was dealing with two griefs at the same time.
Of course.
Simultaneously.
From your, like, the breakup of the family.
Yes.
And then what's going to happen with his life.
Yes.
And when he was in MD Anderson, were you involved in the procedures? Were you there in Houston?
I was in Austin in college. So me and my brother would drive every weekend to Houston to see him at the hospital. But he was in cuidados intensivos.
Intensive care.
Intensive care. And he was there for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
On a coma, basically.
And who was with him? Was the mistress by his side?
Yes, she was by his side.
Porque siempre tienen que andar ahí.
But she was super supportive. And
she won your heart, or no? Because I'm sure that must have been like, I have to come and see my dad. I have to deal with this woman, and my mother, what?
Is brokenhearted on the other side. And
Esta
it was
pica
like,
que se extiende
it
esto.
was too much to handle. So that's when you start blocking stuff that you don't heal. Because I didn't look for help. I didn't. At that time, therapy wasn't that big. So I didn't go to therapy. I didn't look for help.
Yes.
So I was trying to just cope with everything that life was throwing to me. And my uncles were taking care of like the financial part of the whole process. And
But you were only, how old were you?
I was just 19.
Super young.
I was super young. So I would go every weekend to Houston. That's why I had like this. This is when you start getting limiting beliefs, even about towns. Because now I don't like Houston at all because it brings those memories from a hospital and that.
And yes. And now anything associated to Houston, you probably have a great opportunity in Houston. Yes. Or you've had great opportunity and you're like, no, I can't go to Houston.
No, I don't want to go there.
Immediately you close your doors. Yes. And that's something that in our Hispanic, Latino culture, however you identify yourself, or I think this happens to humans in general.
Yeah, everybody.
You have associations to things related to family members, music, food, cities,
everything that generates an emotion.
Everything that generates an emotion. And just think about it. If you're so rooted into something negative, and an opportunity rises later and things have shifted for your betterment, you're going to close the door on it.
You're gonna
because
close
it
the
brings
door.
you back a bad memory. That's exactly what happens when something is going on between a marriage and a relationship,
Same thing.
and you just chop it away and you don't want to hear about it because it brings you back to something negative. And not even related to your spouse or your relationship you're in. It's just you. It's your personal ego, your control that you
Because you're
feed.
talking from your wounds,
Correct.
not your truth or authenticity. So that was but I worked the Houston thing out, and I love Houston.
Qué bueno. Yo amo Houston.
Sí, espectacular. So that was the situation with my dad, and then we decided that he should go back to Colombia.
After he left MD Anderson.
He left MD Anderson with no hopes, basically.
Oh, wow. So he was in hospice.
Yeah, he went back to Colombia, and he passed a month later. And I was in Austin. So I didn't have the chance to say my goodbyes properly because he was with somebody who I didn't even call him, So all of that guilt.
Of course, you carried it with you.
I carried it with me.
And what did you feel? Like, let's go back. If I tell you right now, what year was that?
That was like in the 2000s, 2001.
2001, what month?
When he passed?
Yes.
July 31st.
Okay, so close your eyes. Let's go back to 2001, July. Your father is in Colombia. You're in UT Austin. What does Caro see, smell, taste, and feel?
When they gave me the news?
Yes.
When they gave me the news, I was traveling to Colombia, pit stop in Miami. So I got the news in Miami.
Okay, so we go to Miami now.
Let's go to Miami. And I just felt devastated and guilty, and I was mad at him because he didn't wait for me.
Wow.
So I was super mad that he didn't wait for me. I was going to be there tomorrow, and he didn't wait for me. So I got there late, and I didn't say goodbye. So I carried all of that with me, and I was mad at God and him and everybody.
And your mother?
In Austin.
And what role was she playing?
She was depressed, and she wasn't that emotionally available for me.
To help you.
To help me.
I'm going to interject right there. That is a lot of the things that happen with our parents.
Yes.
So our parents go through their life and their issues. And so now you that are listening, are you a parent or are you a support system for somebody else? What happens when those young children or teenagers need you and you're unavailable because of something that is going on in your life right now? Nobody's asking you to be unavailable. It's just that things happen and you become unavailable. And a lot of times our parents did the best they could with what they had. 100%. But because they were not available to us, that was like a big crush. That was a big pain.
That's
right?
the wound.
And that's the wound that then becomes like this big bruise that starts like boiling up, and then it ruptures because your body can't hold it anymore.
Exactly.
And those wounds are usually, they have to be cleaned and they have to be softened with something or someone. And they have to be like a catalyst to heal.
Yes.
Because it's like you're hungry and you eat and it's not curing your hunger, right? So that pain makes you hungry.
Yes.
And usually you find vices.
Yep.
So did you go through something like that?
So that's exactly what happened. So since you have this wound and you want to heal it somehow, but if you don't have the tools, then you're going to look for whatever it is that can heal that wound on the outside. So in my case, I graduated, I moved to Miami. Now I was independent and I was earning money, independent. I was working. I could do whatever I wanted. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I didn't have a relationship. So I started experimenting with alcohol and drugs and whatever was available from the outside, because I was looking for answers. I was looking for healing, but I didn't know.
Okay.
That's what I needed.
And let me do an interjection right there. So can you name me with words of action what you were feeling? Were you feeling depressed? Were you feeling anxious? How was your pain projecting?
I was disconnected from my true self.
Okay.
And my worthiness was super low because I had felt betrayed.
But before, okay, so let's dig in more. Before feeling that you didn't have self-worth, right? Mm-hmm. You're 19 years old. You're in Miami, a very busy town. ¿Qué hambre tenías? O sea, ¿cómo eran tus emociones? ¿Llorabas?
No.
¿Tenías hambre? ¿Querías ruido? ¿Querías rumba? ¿Querías novio? ¿Querías sexo? ¿Qué sentías que dijiste, esto es lo que me va a ayudar? Paz. Embark on a journey of transformation with Latina Empire's Clarity Course. It's time to heal past traumas, shatter limiting beliefs, and awaken your true passion and purpose. When you know your destination, the path to the how becomes extremely clear. Clarity is not just a course, it's the gateway to a life where you heal, grow, and thrive, mana. Discover the power within you to create a future filled with joy, success, and so much wealth. Ready to begin your journey? Use the code HMMWorld for an exclusive 25% discount available only to our cherished podcast listeners. Visit our show notes for the link and step into your power. Latina Empire Clarity Course. Your new chapter starts now, mana. Así que pícale al link.
Quería comerme el mundo.
Okay.
Porque me sentía empoderada, independiente, ganando mi propio dinero. Siempre fui muy social, tenía muchas conexiones, muchas amistades, y estaba experimentando la vida como adulta, joven, independiente, y quería comerme, o quería probar, tenía hambre, pero hambre de vivir, hambre de conocer, hambre de viajar. Y de experimentar emociones. Por eso las drogas son tan perfectas cuando uno está en una situación vulnerable, porque te alimentan de esas emociones que no puedes llenar o que no sabes cómo llenar desde adentro.
A los 19 años, imagínate, en los principios de los años 2000, nobody was talking about self-healing, self-help.
Zero.
You get coaching, you go and speak to, a counselor or something that you would hear of in the schools.
Yeah, but you didn't know, I didn't know that I was hurting.
Of course. And so when you say that you went and you decided to get to drugs, when did you start dancing with alcohol? Because I'm sure that you started before drugs came alcohol.
Yes, well,
because that's kind of like the easy access, more normalized thing to do.
Alcohol was available since college and even before, but I wasn't. Everything started like in college, experimenting with alcohol and weed, marijuana, and it was like, again, however, I'm a Taurus, and I've always felt grounded. Even though I'm doing locuras and all of this, I'm like, my feet on the floor.
Yes. So you would still have a job. You still,
yes.
you still were a daughter, keeping connected to your mom.
Yes.
But you would just get a little bit crazy sometimes.
I would just get a little bit crazy, and I don't regret any of that because that was part of like my 20s.
Journey
was all about experimenting.
So let's talk about from alcohol, marijuana. What was the next thing you tried next?
Ecstasies. That was big. That was a big one.
Ay,
That was like every weekend.
Las tachas, lo que le llaman las tachas.
Sí.
Bueno, yo nunca he probado las tachas, pero me dicen que te causan mucha euforia.
Sí, es conexión, fun. You feel all the feelings. Like the music sounds amazing.
For reals?
The food tastes delicious. You know, everything
You get
is
the
like
munchies?
No, you don't get the munchies, but after.
So let's go to, because I think that this is just like a very big break. What I see in people all the time is I live a very good life. I'm surviving.
Yes.
I am sustainable. And then there's a break that happens. And in the break, you're hungry. You're probably very hungry for self-love, but that's the last thing that we'll ever recognize, right? Because your ego does not allow that to be like, of course I love myself. And you really don't. And so when you're using alcohol to fill the void, then your body builds tolerance. So then, no pasa nada, let me smoke a little bit of marijuana, right? And then, no pasa nada, let me pop a pill, right? And what I tell young people is, you are only normalizing the intolerant things to your life. And because your body is accepting it, it just becomes like not such a big deal, but it's a huge deal, right?
And you do notice it during the process because you have your highs, but then you have your very, very lows.
Mentally.
And emotionally.
So what happened when you were in Miami and you took that first ecstasy? Were you hanging around with the same people that were drinking and smoking marijuana, and then it just became normal, like a person came in and said, hey, una pastilla, es la pastilla del amor? Or how did that introduction seep into you? Like, how did it creep in?
I don't remember, but it was mostly like, hey, this awesome DJ is coming to town.
Okay. So there's an atmosphere?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so let's go to this club, and that electronic music is better with
this
ecstasies. And you're going to love it, you know. So people start convincing you just a little bit, just half, just un cuartito, you know.
So to all of my mothers, all of my young people out there, look at how normal it was introduced into her life. So when I give classes to high school students, I have so many students that are on Xanax because it's been normalized by the pharma industry, and that when you're feeling depressed or anxiety, pop a Xanax. A Xanax is a downer and ecstasy is an upper, right?
Yes.
But that's how we get lost in this wheel of drugs, and that's what I call that. We are so lost in an emotional sickness war that you're just trying to see like what's going to be the next Tylenol for your emotional void.
The easy way out.
The easy way out. So, Caro, 19 years old, in Miami with a bachelor's degree from UT Austin, had lost her father. She had a great group of friends, and then, échate un cuartito.
Un cuartito.
¿Verdad?
Y con la música... Claro,
échale.
Dale de una. ¿Pero qué me va a hacer? ¿Pero qué me va a hacer? Nada, o sea...
Nada, no
te
pasa
va a
nada.
Y no vas a perder el conocimiento y es súper... Te sigues consciente de todo.
Because the people, the carriers of these fun drugs, they're never going to tell you, like, this is not good. It's going to mess up your neurons. It's going to be toxicity in your blood. Obviously, no te van a decir la verdad. There's a very close person that I have in my life. Right now, he's in his mid-20s, right? He wanted to commit suicide when he was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, right? And I went to his home and I confronted him and I said, listen, ya deja de estar diciendo que te vas a matar y nunca te mataste. Entonces, agarra este cuchillo y póntetelo aquí. O sea, enfréntate cara a cara con tu vida, ¿verdad? Entonces, haz de cuenta que él se quedó como, ¿estás loca o qué? Yo amo mi vida. Y le dije, entonces si amas tu vida, no te vas a matar, ¿verdad? Entonces dice él, pues tú estás loca. Y le dije, no, es que tú estás amenazando a todo el mundo que te vas a matar y nunca te mataste. Anyways, lo llevé a emergencias y le hicieron un examen de sangre porque yo quería saber en qué drogas andaba. Y no andaba en ninguna drogas, ¿verdad? Entonces me dice, le digo yo, ok, si tú no estás en drogas ahorita, ¿qué está sucediendo? ¿Por qué te comportas así? Entonces, cuando él tomaba alcohol, se ponía muy mal. Entonces, después de estarlo entrevistando y platicando con él, me di cuenta que él había hecho ácido 5 veces en su vida, ¿verdad? Entonces, yo estando en la camioneta, yo, oye, ¿qué onda? Ácido, o sea, this is heavy stuff. You understand that you've done very heavy stuff. He's like, well, no. The people that gave it to me said it's not a big deal. We're just going to have a lot of fun. And I said, when you have done acid more than 3 times in your life, you're already considered mentally insane. He said, no, you're crazy. And I said, look at what research says. He was like, that's not fair. They didn't tell me that I was going to be considered mentally insane. And I said, Papacito, that's why sometimes you don't get it. And when you drink alcohol, it's like if a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old drinks alcohol, you're going to be extremely, extremely drunk, right? And so those are the things that get so normalized. And the drugs creep into our people, to our young people, and then we lose you for tomorrow's future, right?
Right.
So when you were doing these drugs, how long did it happen for?
It went consistently for 2-3 years. Yeah.
Manita.
Mana, sí. O sea, that
O
was
sea,
the
le
the
dabas
life.
party gravemente.
Party work. That was my life.
Pero ok, y cuando tú estabas haciendo eso, ¿compartías con gente del trabajo que el fin de semana te loqueabas? No.
No.
Eran 2 vidas diferentes.
Eran 2 vidas, sí.
¿Y la gente con la que hacías el party era diferente que con tu gente profesional? ¿O era la misma?
No, era la misma. Había, o sea, era gente muy profesional que tenían muy buenos trabajos y les iba muy, muy bien.
Ok.
Igual que a mí.
Dime si hubo gentes en ese grupo de gentes que se perdieron en drogas más graves. O fracasaron durante esos episodios. Había mucho drama en esos momentos de la vida que se peleaban o se faltaban el respeto y...
Afortunadamente, la gente con la que yo lo hacía eran muy cercanas a mí. Supongo que de las miles de personas que habían ahí, mucha gente se perdió, mucha gente fracasó. Afortunadamente, mi circulito, todos
salieron
fue
de
una
ese-
etapa.
Fue una etapa.
Fue una etapa.
Ok, muy bien, súper bien.
Para todos. Y todos lo teníamos claro también.
Que era una etapa que iban a vivir.
Que era una
Ok,
etapa.
it was like the crazy time of life.
Yes.
Ok, ahora, what was the craziest thing that you lived during being in that party mode?
Well, I have a story that I've never,
Oh my God!
told.
Drum roll. Prrr. Échatela. Discover the Mana Lounge in the hard mind money world, your exclusive gateway to empowerment and connection. A free global membership where women unite to empower and be empowered, crafting a sanctuary for growth and support. In this vibrant virtual manahood, dive into courses and resources dedicated to healing hearts, challenging minds, and uplifting your financial well-being. We all deserve to be super, super ricototas. The Mana Lounge is more than a community. It's a movement fostering self-discovery and skill development to help you shine in life. Join the forces with like-minded manas, hermanas, amigas. Explore the powerful organizations and become the most authentic version of yourself. Whether you're seeking global connection or local tribe building, find your place in Latina Empire Mana Lounge in the hard mind money world. Click the link, pícale al link in our show notes to access a transformative platform. Become a mana today and navigate this journey in your hard mind money world. Your empire is your empowerment and it's waiting for you.
I met this couple of Brazilians in the party, and I've always been a Brazilian wannabe.
But why? What is it with the Brazilians that
Eu
you
não
love?
sei, mana. Eu falo português porque eu gosto da cultura brasileira.
Ay, I love it. You speak Portuguese for real?
I speak Portuguese.
No manches. A ver, dime que estoy bien bonita.
Você tá muito gostosa.
I love it.
Muito garota. Bueno, and I studied Portuguese as an elective in college.
Okay.
Because I had the Spanish already, bueno, whatever. So I met this Brazilian couple at a nightclub with the drugs and whatever, and we switched phones. We exchanged phone numbers.
Because you were excited to meet Brazilian people.
Yes.
But you didn't know that these Brazilians were super nutty.
I didn't know.
And then?
So,
Entonces, la curiosidad mata al gato. Tienen que tener cuidado con eso porque por curiosita, mi papá siempre me decía, mijita, sepa andar en la lumbre pero no se queme.
Exacto.
Entonces, you come close, but if you know that danger is there, you need to back off.
Y obviamente, en ese mundo de la rumba y de las drogas, va a haber danger.
Sí, claro.
O sea...
Sí, la gente se pone... No tienes control de la gente.
No, o sea, ahí no es donde vas a encontrar a la persona con la que te vas a querer casar o a la persona... a tu futuro
marido,
jefe
esposo
o socio.
Imagínate. No,
Entonces,
para nada.
lo que pasó fue que unas semanas después me llaman. Oi, Carol, ¿tudo bem? ¿Dónde você está? ¿Dónde estás? No sé qué. Yo, aquí en Lincoln Road, en un rooftop con mis amigos, cáiganle.
Iván,
¿qué estás tomando? Y, una margarita. Te traigo una margarita. Cuando me dan la margarita,
¿qué?
Se volvieron dueños y señores de mi vida.
¿Cómo? Ay, ¿qué te dieron? ¿Una margarota o qué? Oh, shit, ¿qué te dieron?
Me dieron una... comercialmente creo que se llama Angel Dust.
¿Qué es eso, Caro?
Ay, Perla, no sé los nombres químicos pero
¿qué es eso,
como que lo que ellos digan es la ley. Entonces, vámonos a otro lado. Y yo, sí, claro, vamos.
Espérate. Esto es una droga.
Es una droga.
Y te
inolora, insabora, nada. Incolora. Y
Estoy
me la echaron
súper nerviosa con esta historia que nos va a contar. Y luego, ¿a dónde fuiste?
Esto es para generar conciencia.
Es importante hacer eso. Por eso, mira, como la primera persona que estoy entrevistando, porque yo hago esto, te lo juro, desde que estoy chiquita y las que me conocen saben, a mí me gusta conocer de la gente porque es ahí donde realmente aprendemos. Así que te doy muchas gracias, amiga, porque estás abriendo tu corazón.
Está difícil.
Estás abriendo tu corazón, pero esto es para generar conciencia de lo que hay allá afuera. Sí. Y esto es lo que las personas callan, que no manches, que yo que soy bien preguntona y me he metido hasta la cocina de la vida de la gente a la madre. Angel Dust, nunca había escuchado de esto. Entonces, tell me more.
Es como...
Take it away, como decía Johnny Canales.
Se volvieron mis jefes. Lo que dijeran yo hacía. Es más,
¿Durante varios tiempos?
No.
¿O en esa noche?
O sea, es unas horas.
Ok, sí.
Que pega el efecto, pero estaban ahí.
¿Y le dieron a todos?
No, solo a mí.
Wow,
y después me di cuenta que eran swingers. Entonces el chavo me llega.
A ver, para las personas que no saben que son swingers, ¿qué es eso?
Pues una pareja que le gusta meterse con otras personas u otras parejas.
Y está ok con los dos.
Está ok con los dos.
¿Eran hombres o mujeres?
No, pues era una pareja hombre y mujer.
Ah, ok, bueno, ¿y luego?
Casados.
Ah, ¿y luego?
Entonces, él me dice, Caro, dame un beso. Y yo, claro. Y le doy un beso.
¿En la boca?
Claro.
¿Y la mujer?
Ay, tan bonita. Así.
Caro.
Y mis amigos.
What?
Así como, ¿qué está pasando?
¿Qué está pasando? ¿Y luego?
Y me hacían así, y yo, ay, ya, o sea.
Porque tú estabas en el efecto, amiga.
Y ellos no entendían que yo...
¿Qué rollo contigo? Y luego...
Entonces luego me dicen, ven, vámonos a una discoteca, a otro antro. Y yo, sí, vamos.
Y tú, pum, te fuiste.
Y mis amigos, no, me perseguían, mis amigos, porque está loca, ¿qué está pasando?
¿Y tú?
Y yo, no, yo me voy con ellos. Y yo terca. No, donde ellos me digan, yo voy. Si se quieren quedar, quédense, yo ya me voy.
No manches. ¿Y luego?
Pues así me estuvieron persiguiendo.
¿Toda la tarde o la noche o el día o qué era?
La noche, hasta que me les perdí a mis amigos, porque ya no pudieron entrar a una discoteca y así. Y me empezó a bajar el efecto.
Oye, pero ¿y en ese momento la gente esta que está en esta droga maneja o andan en...?
Ah, sí.
Y, o sea, imagínate.
Es que la que estaba en la droga era yo.
Ellos no.
No.
Hijos de la madre, güey. ¿Y luego?
Pues nada, Perla, así fue la noche, la tengo todavía medio borrosa, pero ahí es donde yo digo que tu inner guidance siempre está.
Levántate,
Tu intuición
levántate.
siempre está, tu intuición siempre está, nada más hay que detectarla.
¿Y luego?
Y llegó un momento en que, bueno, ya terminamos yendo al edificio donde viven, ya sabes a qué. Y cuando yo llegué al edificio...
Hacer cosas triple X.
Cuando yo llegué al edificio, recordé que yo ubicaba perfecto la calle porque yo había vivido en el edificio al lado. Le escribo a mi roommate y le digo, oye, estoy en Collins con la 57, por favor, ven por mí. ¡Puta, ¿dónde estás? Te nos perdiste toda la noche. Yo, por favor, ven por mí, por favor, ven por mí.
Porque tú ya estabas despertando y dijiste, aquí va a haber algo.
Sí, todavía subimos al departamento,
Gracias a Dios.
Estaba la empleada de servicio haciendo limpieza. Ellos no se acordaban que iba a ir ese día. Se pusieron como a discutir. En eso llega mi roommate y les digo, ya me voy, y me fui.
Ay, les pelaste.
A los 2 días le pedí a un amigo que me llevara a hacerme una prueba de sangre.
Porque tú sabías que lo que habías vivido no estaba correcto.
Yo sabía que me habían metido algo 100%.
Wow.
Porque no lo podía controlar. O sea, era impresionante.
Lo que ellos hacían, lo que ellos decían, tú estabas
Lo que dijeran era la ley.
Wow.
Muy fuerte esta experiencia. Ahí fue cuando comencé a preguntarme qué estoy haciendo con mi vida.
Yo creo que ahí, amiga, fue donde yo creo que es como que te quemaste un poquito.
Uh-huh.
Como que dijiste, cuando estoy en estas locuras y estoy drogada, ya como que estoy haciendo cosas muy locotas.
No, porque la otra yo lo controlaba.
Y
yo
porque
lo decidía.
tu pudor, tu amor propio, yo creo que tus valores no te estaban permitiendo estar besando a un hombre enfrente de otra mujer,
conflicto.
como que ya estaba muy raro.
Ahí yo sí me di cuenta que, a ver,
¿Y te dio cruda moral?
y horrible. Pero no tanto en el sentido de que, o sea, yo fui víctima.
Claro.
Fui una víctima.
Pero eso fue un quiebre para que, hey, wake the fuck up.
O sea, ¿dónde me estoy metiendo? Que estoy conociendo a este tipo de personas que me están haciendo este daño y que el daño me lo estoy haciendo yo misma se vuelve un círculo vicioso.
Sí, porque una gente, otra gente, y yo pienso que te vas como que yendo con gentes y más abajo y más abajo y más oscuro hasta que llegas a cosas muy oscuras.
Que gracias a Dios no fue lo que pasó, sino que ya de ahí di un salto cuántico.
Y dijiste hasta aquí.
Sí, dije, ya me estoy aburriendo de la rumba y de lo mismo y de lo mismo.
¿Ya qué edad tenías?
Ya tenía como 23, 23, 24.
Ya dijiste, tengo que aquí acomodar mi barco.
Ya quiero...
¿Y cómo empezó? O sea, ese fue el quiebre. Tu papá, tenías mucho dolor, no sanaste. Creo que no te habías perdonado porque te estabas echando la culpa. A lo mejor no te despediste o echándole la culpa a él porque
y también
se fue.
había tenido un novio que también me había sido infiel. Entonces, mi percepción de los hombres era
así son.
Que así son y que yo no soy suficiente para que me traten mejor o para que me den mi lugar.
Y en ese dolor, curando ese dolor, dices, me automedico para sentirme mejor.
Ándale,
La rumba, la fiesta,
ándale.
la música, los amigos, las drogas. Y cuando viene tu healing, o sea, que dices tú, yo ya estoy en el piso, ya estoy llevándome a hacer cosas, ¿dónde viene ese quiebre que dices tú, esto es lo que voy a hacer? ¿Y qué es lo que hiciste? Porque en esos tiempos, healing no era como que you heal.
Pero yo lo encontré.
Journey. ¿Cómo? Dime.
Entonces yo vivía por downtown Miami y muy cerquita de mi casa había un Unity. Y Unity es un lugar que lleva muchos años. Ahí comenzó Dr. Wayne Dyer, que es uno de mis maestros, y Luis Hay, y muchas de estas personas que sí llevan años hablando de spirituality, manifestation y todo eso.
Sí.
Entonces, descubrí que había un Unity. Un amigo fotógrafo me dijo, vamos a meditar. ¿Has meditado? Y yo, no, nunca. Vamos, que te queda al lado de tu casa. No manches. Es como el gimnasio. Si vas al gimnasio, consigue un gimnasio que esté cerca, porque si no, no vas. Acá tienes Unity al lado de tu casa, vamos a meditar.
¿Y tú de qué es eso?
No, sí, me llama la atención, vamos. Y ahí encontré una comunidad impresionante.
Otro tipo de gente.
Otro tipo de gente, pero el efecto que me hacía sentir las drogas y el efecto que me hacía sentir meditation era muy similar.
Uf, clave.
Entonces yo dije, ay, mira, no necesito esto.
Esto me llena.
Esto me está llenando y me está dando las respuestas.
Wow.
Entonces, antes
Súper
empecé a buscar
poderoso.
las respuestas afuera, en el exterior,
Sí.
en la rumba, en las drogas, en esto, en lo otro. Y aquí empecé a encontrar respuestas adentro. Y
Increíble.
dije, así es. This is how it works.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
So then,
That's where I learned about The Secret, the book, The
Secret.
And all of this amazing law of attraction and manifestation. And I got so curious that I have never stopped ever since.
Ever stop searching.
Yeah.
Incredible story. And I think that the takeaways are you always have challenges in your life. It's a matter of how you deal with them and how you heal. Mm-hmm. Because we always have to, whenever something hurts, if your head hurts, what do? You take a Tylenol, you take an Advil, you take a pill, you need to take the headache away, right? So when emotions are affecting you, you have to heal one way or another. It's just a matter of you heal right or you heal wrong.
Right, exactly. Right? And the first awakening was choosing the wrong decisions and looking in the outside for answers. Fast forward 2020, my divorce, that was my second awakening. And this time, that process came out the total opposite. And that's how I became a life coach.
Because now you've had an established precedent of I was broken, right, and I semi-healed myself with vices, which right, is most of the things that humans in this planet Earth are most accessible to. Yes. And it's like more okay to heal with wine, a little bit, a wine cup every day, and then that's not enough. So take a Tylenol PM and another wine cup, and then somebody introduces you to marijuana, and then from there, there's no stopping unless right, you stop it. Because the more you spiral into different kinds of people, it's just worse and worse and worse, and then you get to like the very heavy stuff, right? Which I think that you didn't get to the extremely heavy stuff because you stopped yourself.
Yes.
Right? So thank God for that bad experience with the Brazilians, because it's like, let me go back in reverse of this car because you're the only one that can handle the car. So then that takes you to heal, to awaken, to meditate. Then you manifest the life of your dreams. You get married. You find your man. You find you have your children.
Yes.
And then shift. Another issue happens in life. You get a divorce. And this time you needed healing. But this healing took you on a journey to become a manifestation coach.
Yes.
Right? And that's usually what happens in the success of people. Mm-hmm. It's how you come out of your problems, because challenges are always going to happen.
100%.
Challenge 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, right? And so yes, now that you're a survivor of issues and now that you're a manifestation coach, incredible story. What is your legacy in life now? What is it that Caro says, I want to leave in this world, or my children, this is what I'm working on?
Yes. I have very clear, and I finally got to understand this in my 40s, yes, not in my 20s, in my 40s. First, not to regret anything, because correct, all of those experiences are just learning experiences, correct, to become your better version. Mm-hmm. But I did understand that you can shift your life instantly. You can take quantum leaps when you understand your worth.
Correct.
So worthiness is like my word that I try to teach all of my clients in my courses, on my podcasts, everywhere, that you are worthy of everything, no limits.
Correct.
But you need to find your true authentic self
100%.
and remember who you are.
Correct.
In essence, to remember how worthy you are. So transforming your life is based on how much you're willing to find how worthy you are, basically. And that's what I'm
And
working
life
on.
is so funny that life is always, challenging you with things, with issues of this physical space, to always challenge your spiritual self and how much you really love yourself to fight against those challenges. And ironically, the easiest things to do is to fall into vices
Yes.
of as petty as gossip. It's a vice.
Oh, yes.
As excess of food, as cheating, as abusing alcohol, drugs, sex, as committing crime, as becoming a murderer, etc. Those are all vices that are the most readily available to pull from, to auto-medicate and heal.
Because it's
right?
uncomfortable to go inward.
Of course, you don't want to take responsibility.
You don't want to do that.
That's incredible.
But when there's a challenge, why don't we start seeing challenges as, wow, there's a challenge. There's an opportunity for me to heal.
To grow.
Of course.
To grow. And it's not easy to grow. You have to stay the course. You have to, that's why I call it, people have to become literally love soldiers. You have to constantly be guarding your self-love from anything that can come and affect your
Yes.
self-love, because you have to fight for it. You have to put boundaries with people, and you have to deal with humans, because humans are what cause emotional pain and is also what heals pain, but it's what you need in life forever,
100%.
right? Because everybody's brothers and sisters. And so I'm here to tell you that we could all conquer our heart, heal our heart, challenge your mind to anything you can think of. Caro is an educated person from UT Austin. She became a life coach, a manifestation coach, because that's what fills her bucket, right?
Sí.
Based from her stories of problems.
Transformation.
And transformation, what takes you to leave the legacy. And so I say that humans live in a triangle. We're in survival mode, trying to figure out what matters, what doesn't matter. Then you stabilize, and then you find what really is significance for you, and then you work on your legacy, which is what you're going to leave to the world. So always know that when you're vulnerable with your story, not only do you heal yourself, but you inspire others to have hope. Hope that if Caro came out of that, if I came out of my problems, you too can come out of whatever you're
Yes.
coming out. And if you are the one sharing the story, you're going to heal, because there's going to be like a lot of nuggets that are going to make sense as to why you lived what you lived. And to the person listening to you, it's like, that's why I'm going through that. So, Caro, one word of advice, or two or three, to our listeners. In a nutshell, what is it that you say, these are the three things that always push me through a problem, or make me focus on me?
Bueno, esto lo digo en español.
Somos una audiencia Spanglish.
Totalmente, lo amo. Yo siento que aquí lo más importante es tener la disposición de querer sanar, porque todos tenemos algo que sanar. Aquí que no venga nadie a decirme,
Sí.
no, ya yo sané todo.
No. Es como el alcohólico. Si no reconoces que tienes un problema,
Eso.
por tan más mínimo que sea, nunca lo vas a arreglar.
Todos tenemos algo que sanar, y traer eso al consciente es lo más importante.
Sí.
Y ya de ahí aprender a vivir en gratitud, porque la gratitud es el antídoto de todos los males.
Así es.
Y es el generador, como es una emoción tan en alta frecuencia, es el generador de más razones para sentir gratitud.
Más abundancia.
Entonces, vives en gratitud, trabajas en tu sanación, en tus traumas, en tus creencias limitantes, en transformar tu realidad actual desde esa gratitud y elevar tu nivel de merecimiento. ¿Por qué? Porque uno manifiesta lo que cree que se merece.
Correcto.
Entonces, en ese momento, cuando tu nivel de merecimiento está alto, van a venir las red flags.
Es la ley de la atracción.
Y van a venir los challenges y todo eso, pero tú ya vas a identificar que I'm not going to settle here. Porque I'm worthy of more.
Correcto.
Entonces, ahí es cuando empiezas a, lo que dices tú, a filtrar todas esas cosas que no resuenan contigo.
¿Qué me conviene y qué no me conviene?
¿Y qué me merezco?
Claro, 100%.
Eso es lo que...
Gracias.
Eso es lo que yo quiero.
Carito, y para todas nuestras amigas y amigos que nos están escuchando, ¿dónde te pueden encontrar? ¿En redes? ¿En dónde te encontramos?
En redes, obvio. Caro Chams. Creo que solo uso Instagram, un poco de Facebook, pero Caro Chams.
Está perfecto.
O en
Sigan a Caro
cartaluniverso.com.
Chams. En cartaluniverso.com son unos Oracle Deck Cards que están buenísimas.
No, ese es el curso.
Ah, perdóname. Sorry.
No, cartaluniverso.com es el programa de manifesting.
De manifesting.
Y las cartas, también en mi Instagram, ahí está el link.
Ahí está el link. Perfecto. Amigas y amigos, manitas y manitas, manitas y manitos, gracias por escucharnos. Espero que hoy se hayan llevado muchos secretos detrás del éxito, escuchando la historia de nuestra queridísima amiga Caro Chams. Recuerda, no es lo que ves, sino la historia detrás del éxito, porque ahí es realmente donde vamos a aprender a cómo valorar, a cómo pensar y atraer lo que nos merecemos de las historias de las personas. Aprende a escuchar un poquito más y va a hacer que tu vida va a ser diferente, porque ahí está realmente el aprendizaje. Gracias, conquista tu corazón, conquista tu mente, conquista todo el dinero que te mereces y gracias por escucharnos. Aquí tu servidora Perla Casasnovas. Take it away.